The 10 best 1970s cartoons that take you back in time. If you grew up in the 1970s, Saturday mornings were a big deal. The moment you woke up, you rushed to the TV for your favorite cartoons. These shows brought joy, laughter, and memories that lasted a lifetime. Whether you were watching superheroes save the day or laughing at a talking animal, these shows were more than just entertainment. They were an experience. In this video, we're diving into the top 10 1970s cartoons that will take you right back in time to those carefree days. So, grab some popcorn, sit back, and let us look into these iconic shows that still hold a place in our hearts today. Starting our list with number 10, Jabberjaw. If there's one cartoon that brings back waves of childhood nostalgia, it's Jabberjaw. The show follows Jabberjaw, a talking, air-breathing great white shark who loves playing drums for a rock band called the Neptunes. Fascinating, to say the least. Jabberjaw isn't your typical scary shark. He's clumsy, lovable, and always full of goofy energy. He also has a big personality, often complaining about not getting the respect he deserves, which made his famous catchphrase, "I don't get no respect," a hit among fans. Each episode has the band getting into wild situations while trying to escape trouble, usually caused by underwater villains or monsters. Jabberjaw, despite his silliness, often ends up saving the day in his unique, hilarious way. The show is inspired by the humor of 1960s comedians, especially Rodney Dangerfield, and has a similar vibe to Scooby-Doo. Its mix of music, comedy, and underwater action made it a hit for kids during its time. Even today, Jabberjaw is remembered fondly by fans who grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons. Now let's move on to number 9, where things get even more exciting. The Jackson 5. The Jackson 5 used to be our Saturday morning favorite. Airing in the early 1970s, this animated series followed the adventures of Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and young Michael as they handled the ups and downs of their music career. Each episode was packed with catchy Jackson 5 songs that had kids singing and dancing along. What made this show special was its mix of fun and fantasy. The Jackson brothers were always getting into wild situations, whether they were performing on stage or trying to outsmart their quirky manager and roadie. Who could forget Michael's adorable pet mouse, Ray? Did you know the Jackson 5 was the first animated series to feature a famous African-American musical group as the main characters? For fans of the Jackson 5, this cartoon was a chance to see their idols in a new light. It captured the 70s with its wonderful animation and soundtrack, making it a nostalgic gem for anyone who grew up during that time. Even today, the Jackson 5 remains a cherished memory of simpler, joyful days. Coming in at number 8, this one definitely left its mark on the animation world. Harlem Globetrotters. The Harlem Globetrotters cartoon was a fun and exciting show that aired in the 1970s. It was based on the famous basketball team known for their amazing tricks and skills. The show featured the Globetrotters playing basketball, but with a twist. They would perform crazy stunts, make incredible shots, and have fun while playing the game. The characters in the cartoon were all based on the real-life players, like Curly, Meadowlark Lemon, and Bingo. Each character had their own special skills, and they worked together to outsmart their opponents and have a good time. The Globetrotters cartoon introduced many kids to the exciting world of basketball and showed how much fun sports can be. It was also a great way to watch the famous team in action, even if you couldn't see them play live. Undoubtedly for many, it was one of the best parts of Saturday morning cartoons. Next up at number 7, we're stepping into even more unforgettable cartoon moments. Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey was one of the funniest cartoons from the 1970s. It told the story of Penrod Penrypooch, a mild-mannered janitor at a police station who had a big secret. When trouble struck, he transformed into Hong Kong Phooey, a crime-fighting superhero. What made him special was his hilarious attempts at kung fu, which didn't always go as planned. Luckily, his trusty cat sidekick Spot was always there to save the day without Penry even noticing. The show was full of funny moments. Kids loved watching Hong Kong Phooey's clumsy moves and his over-the-top confidence. His magical file cabinet, which he used to change into a superhero costume, was a fun part of every episode. With its theme song and silly adventures, Hong Kong Phooey became an instant favorite. Voiced by Scatman Crothers, the character brought smiles to Saturday morning cartoons. Even though he wasn't the best at kung fu, Hong Kong Phooey always managed to stop the bad guys in his own odd way. making him a true classic. Join the family! Subscribe now and stay up to date with all our latest videos. At number 6, we have a show that brought some truly odd characters to life. Valley of the Dinosaurs. Valley of the Dinosaurs was one of those 1970s cartoons that instantly captured kids' imaginations. Picture this. A family of 4, along with their dog, accidentally gets swept away into a prehistoric world filled with giant dinosaurs and strange creatures. The show followed the Butler family as they tried to survive in this dangerous yet fascinating land. They were guided by Gorak, a friendly caveman, and his family, who taught them how to live in the wild. Valley of the Dinosaurs felt like an adventurous escape. It wasn't just about dodging T-Rex attacks or riding brontosauruses. It was about teamwork. Every episode was a thrilling ride, packed with life lessons and family bonding moments. Kids of the 70s loved imagining themselves in the Butler's shoes, crafting makeshift tools, and exploring the unknown. Tell us down below, which dinosaur from Valley of the Dinosaurs would you want as a pet, and why? This cartoon might not be as famous today, but for those who grew up with it, it holds a special place in their hearts. It takes them back to simpler times, when every morning was an adventure waiting to happen. Halfway there! Let's dive into number 5, Josie and the Pussycats. Josie and the Pussycats was a must-watch for kids in the 1970s, bringing fun, music, and mystery to our TVs. The show followed the adventures of Josie and her all-girl rock band, featuring the smart and sassy Valerie, the lovable and ditzy Melody, and of course, their manager Alexander. But things weren't just about tunes. They were always stumbling into wild mysteries and dangerous situations, often involving villains with big, over-the-top plans. What made this cartoon so special? It wasn't just the music, although the band's performances were a big hit. It was the way Josie and her friends always worked together to outsmart the bad guys, proving that teamwork and friendship could solve anything. Fun fact! Despite being a hit with young audiences, the show struggled in ratings during its initial run. In fact, the show was almost canceled after just one season. However, it later became a classic. Josie and the Pussycats is a sweet reminder of a time when life's biggest worry was whether the gang would solve the case before their next gig. Now moving on to number 4, a show that was ahead of its time. Super Friends. Super Friends was one of the most exciting cartoons of the 70s, bringing together some of the most popular superheroes of all time. The show featured iconic characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Robin, all working together to fight evil and save the day. The heroes teamed up to face villains like Lex Luthor and the Joker, creating surprising adventures every episode. Each hero had their own unique abilities, and when they worked together, they were unstoppable. The cartoon also introduced new characters, like the Wonder Twins, who had powers that worked best when they combined forces. Kids loved watching these heroes take on challenges and learn valuable lessons about helping others and being brave. Super Friends became a beloved part of many childhoods, and is still fondly remembered today. It showed how working together can make a difference. Even to this day, fans of all ages continue to enjoy this cartoon for its exciting episodes. Help us grow by subscribing. It's free and keeps you in the loop on all our upcoming videos. Let's take a closer look at number 3, a cartoon that became a cultural icon for millennials, as well as Gen Z. The Tom and Jerry Show. The Tom and Jerry Show is one of the most popular cartoons that has stood the test of time. This classic show, created by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, first aired in 1940, but it's continued to evolve with a fresh twist in every new decade. As we all know, it features the funny rivalry between a not-so-innocent cat named Tom and a clever mouse named Jerry. Every episode shows Tom trying to catch Jerry, but no matter what tricks Tom uses, Jerry always manages to escape, making us laugh endlessly, and sometimes feeling bad for Tom. If you could join Tom or Jerry for one episode, who would you pick? Comment below! What makes Tom and Jerry so special is the simple yet hilarious action. There are no words, just the sound of slamming doors, crashing furniture, and all kinds of funny noises as the two chase each other around. The humor was timeless. From our grandparents to our parents to us to our kids, all ages love it, whether they're watching for the first time or for the 100th time. The cartoon also has memorable characters like Spike the Bulldog and Tuffy the Little Mouse, who add even more fun to the show. Tom and Jerry is a perfect example of how animation can entertain everyone with its simple, clever humor. It's no wonder this show is still loved by many, even today. Coming in at number 2, this one had everyone talking when it first aired. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids was a cartoon that brought kids from all walks of life together in the 1970s. Created by Bill Cosby, the show was set in an urban neighborhood and followed a group of teenagers as they dealt with everyday life, from school to friendships. The main character, Fat Albert, was a big-hearted and fun-loving guy, and his group of friends, who each had a unique personality. The show wasn't just about fun and laughs, it also taught valuable life lessons. Whether it was about doing the right thing, dealing with challenges, or respecting others, Fat Albert and his friends showed kids how to handle tough situations. The cartoon's theme song, Hey Hey Hey, became an iconic part of TV history, and the characters felt like friends to many. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids gave us a glimpse into the lives of people who faced real problems, but always tried to solve them with humor, heart, and friendship. And finally, the #1 cartoon from the 1970s, the one that set the standard for all others to this date, The New Adventures of Batman. The New Adventures of Batman was an animated show that brought Batman and Robin back to TV in the 1970s. The show featured the famous crime-fighting duo as they worked together to stop villains in Gotham City. Which Batman sidekick do you like better, Robin or Batgirl? Tell us in the comments below. The cartoon wasn't just about fighting crime, it was also packed with action and excitement. Batman and Robin had to face off against some of their most famous enemies, like the Joker, the Penguin, and Catwoman. Another cool thing about the show was that Adam West, who played Batman in the live-action series from the 1960s, voiced the character in this animated version too. This made the show feel familiar to fans of the earlier Batman show. It was full of thrilling adventures and gave kids a chance to experience Gotham City like never before. For fans of Batman, The New Adventures of Batman brought the superhero back into their lives with a fresh twist. It's a must-watch for anyone who loves superheroes and classic cartoons. And that's a wrap on our list of the top 10 best cartoons from the 1970s. These shows brought so many memories and good times, didn't they? Whether it was solving mysteries with Scooby-Doo or flying high with the Jetsons, each one had their own special charm. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more nostalgic content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with more fun from the past.